Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of data related video series. In today's video, I want to share my experience of data management. This is Somyajit, and this is my YouTube channel, Lazy Yogis, where I share a lot of things about my personal life as well as about blockchain. I talk about cryptocurrency. Recently, I installed a cracked station, and also I did my course on scrum, where I shared a lot of insights and knowledge with the people. Okay, and this is my LinkedIn profile. If you want to check or if you want to ask or connect with me, then yeah, go ahead and give me a request and then I will be there always to reply regarding data and or about regarding personal life also. Okay, so in today's video, we'll be talking about data management, SQL concepts, but not those regular videos where I will be sharing my experience, but with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my new friend, and my learning curve has grown a lot faster with the ChatGPT, and every day I learn a lot. And today, so I thought maybe let's combine these concepts and let's see how well we get a feedback or a response. So in today's video, I will start with the definitions, but the definitions I will not say, but then ChatGPT will say here all the definitions. The definitions are regarding data management, and these definitions are means the terminologies I have taken it from the Dhamma book. People sometimes confuse between different definitions, so we will go through the definitions. We will learn what each means. There are a lot of definitions we'll be discussing about, so this is going to be a little bit lengthy video because ChatGPT has to give me a response about each definition. So let's see how it goes, and yeah, maybe I will divide it into 2 or 3 parts. But I will cover all the definitions, or 98% of the definitions in the world of data regarding what means. All the definitions should be clear in everyone's mind, so that people talk the same language when two data engineers or two data analysts or two data scientists are talking with each other. Then we will some SQL concepts I would like to share, and sometimes many people don't know about it, but then this gives the young developers or the people who recently started coding with SQL, like okay, how they can code efficiently with the different grouping of commands. Then we'll discuss something about mathematics and some key things about database, indexation, then how to improve your queries, about data storage, then some tools for data governance, regarding ADF, Azure Databricks, Azure Data Lake, Azure SQL. I know a lot about Azure, different resources in Azure. There are Azure Maps, there are Azure analytic services, Azure. There are a lot of things, lot of thousands of resources, but I will not dive into the details of each because it will take a lot of time, and already in Google or there are a lot of videos available, so I will not repeat the same things. Then about SQL Management Studio, and then the visualization part. So this is what I have planned over the entire video series, and in this whole video series we will be taking help of ChatGPT, and we'll see how well our learning curve can improve with the help of the new AI feature. So okay, we'll start with the data definitions, and then what is a data dictionary. Okay, I will open ChatGPT, and I have already started asking ChatGPT about different definitions. A data dictionary is a centralized repository of information. This is what you have to know. Data definition means if you go into a database, like something like this, here it's a sample database, will be coming here. Suppose there are 200 schemas, then or tables, then each tables will have hundreds or 200 columns, and then a person has to know which column means what, and that is and what are its attributes, whether it's integer, whether it's float, whether it's string, etc., etc. And then that will help in understanding the databases, and also when you are doing data acquisition and then data transformation, that will help. Okay, so this is all about data dictionary. Very good definition from ChatGPT. I'm really impressed. Then the second question is, what is data lineage? People generally get confused between data pipelines, data lineage, or etc. etc. But then what ChatGPT replied me back is, data lineage is a record of data's journey, means from the source to the target, and then how it got transformed and reached to a measure or to a report. So that whole journey is like a flowchart representation of the entire journey of the data, and that is cognitively good for visualization also. So that is data lineage. It is different than data pipelines. We'll come to it little bit later. For regulatory requirement, data lineage is also required, and it is good for documentation. The information captured in data lineage can also be used to improve the data quality and accuracy. So for beginners, know about each definition, and then it will help in further growth of yours. And the people who are already experienced, for them it's just a revision. Then the third question is, what is data reconciliation? People who do data quality or master data management, data reconciliation is a part and parcel of their day-to-day works. Well, data reconciliation is like, you know already reconciliation, what it means. It means like for example, if you have two baskets, then if from one basket some breads are, and the first basket has some breads or some money in it, and if you want to transfer the contents of first basket to the second basket, then at the end you should expect the second basket also has the same content in it. So data reconciliation is reconciliating what was in the source and then what is in the target. So it's a kind of data quality, but then it's a part of the master data management. For example, also number of customers, whether it's in a enterprise resource planning software, and then when you extracted the data into Azure data lake. So in data lake, you should have the same extraction without, if you didn't put any filter during the time of extraction, then the number of customers that you extracted should be the same as the number of customers information in the application itself. So data reconciliation is kind of reconciliating from the source and the target. At the end, data reconciliation is used to improve the data quality and data consistency across different systems. Many people don't know about this definition, so it's a kind of a revision for them. And I see here ChatGPT is responding very effectively. Well, how I collected these definitions, already I am 7 years experienced with working with data. So for me, I know all these concepts, and just sharing with ChatGPT. Okay, let's see how ChatGPT is responding back. Data warehouse is like imagine a house, and then inside a house you have example. Imagine this is a database, but then multiple data means data warehouse is like multiple databases makes a data warehouse. It's a large centralized repository of data for querying analysis, and it's like storing all the data, and it supports business intelligence and decision making activities. So there is a difference between database and a data warehouse. Then I think the description mentioned here is quite effective. The data in the data warehouse is usually organized in subject areas or domains such as customer information, sales data, etc., etc. Okay, then what is data governance? Generally, people think data governance is from policy point of view, but then data governance is much more wider. The definition is much wide than what people expect. So data governance is the overall data management of the availability, usability, integrity, and security of the data organization. So in data governance, you can also implement who has access to the data. It also includes data definition. It also includes like as mentioned, defining roles, responsibilities, data management, who can extract the data, and then it also has elements of improving the data. Data governance is like if you Google data governance wheel. I want a pictographic view of data governance wheel, and data governance wheel in the Dhamma book has been described in this way, where data governance includes data modeling, data storage, data security, data integration, documentation, master data management, warehousing and business intelligence, metadata, data quality. So all these elements are a part of data governance. Generally, people who are highly experienced, they go into data governance. Normally, like my expertise or my interest lies in data quality, architecture, modeling, storage, not security, integration, no, maybe somewhat to documentation, master data, intelligence, not metadata, because it depends also how big is the organization. Like I am working in a mid-range company where data maturity is not that much, so all these features are not implemented yet, but then slowly we are moving towards that. Okay, so then data governance is like more of like governing the whole data environment. Then we saw in the data governance wheel data integration. Let us ask ChatGPT what is data integration. Well, data integration, it means combining data of multiple sources into a single unified view. For example, many people say that it is a kind of transformation. It is true that it is, you are integrating two tables into one table or one view, and this is used for making some decisions or gaining some insights for the business process. And data integration can be accomplished through a variety of techniques, including data warehousing, federation, replication, visualization. And then it requires some skills like coding skills or some application like Azure Data Factory, where you can extract the data and integrate the data in the application itself. Now, data integration is different than data mapping and different than data federation and warehousing and virtualization. We'll come into each definition gradually. So you understand data integration is like merging two datasets to a unified view, that is data integration. It's different than transformation. Data quality, I think people already know about data quality, but then in data quality, like you always want the data of high quality, because whenever you are creating a report, it should be error free or less error, it should be accurate, and it should be consistent. Well, I follow this four techniques, or I feel that these four pillars makes the data quality: consistency, completeness, accuracy, and validation. Data validation means, for example, you have finance and you have data team, number of customers. So number of customers as per data team, or number of active customers as per data team, should always be equal to finance, because if suppose let's say in the data team is saying 18 active customers and they're executing lanes, but finance is saying 15 active customers, then 3 customers are missing. And so then it's a data, so then the data needs to be validated and consistent always, and that is where the consistency also comes, that number of customers at finance and number of customers in the application or active customers should be the same. Validation means the key figures should be the same everywhere. Completeness means it should be error free and there should be no nulls. Like for example, there should be, means all the data that is, suppose let's say the customer data, and in one application the phone numbers are missing, in another application the phone numbers are there. Although in the second application the phone numbers are there, it is data complete, but then in this system it is not complete. So then the discussion is where we want the data to be complete. So data completeness is one of the key problem in the many organizations, because it's a manual task, it has to be entered. Then maintaining the records in a day-to-day busy life is kind of quite difficult, although in my organization also there is some completeness issues, but then people are involved, the data team is involved in making it to 98% or 99%. Accuracy is the data is of high quality. For example, it means that error free, null free, the data timestamps are of good formatting is good, and it's the strings and integers are well, there is no missing data, means all these things comes under data accuracy. So validation, completeness, accuracy and consistency are the four pillars of data quality. If that is there, then we can move on to data engineering and data machine learning implementation, etc., etc. If the quality is not good, then yeah, there's a question mark on what reports management is getting and what decisions they are taking, whether it is good or bad, whether it is effective or not. So effectiveness is not 100% in if the data quality is bad. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT of what is master data management. So it's a process of defining and maintaining a single authoritative source of critical data elements. Critical data elements. So which data are critical? Well, in an organization, there are different types of data, like finance data, which consists of booking the costs or fuel or taxes, etc., etc. Then comes the sales data, which deals with customers and their details. Then comes the operation data, which deals with the transactions, like truck movement from this location to this location, loading, unloading. Then comes the business data, which is like critical business data, which includes like driver information, HR data, or the revenue data. Means there are different types of data. That is what I meant to say. And then from that, the master data are which affects the business a lot. For example, the customer data. Everyone wants to know how many customers we have. Everyone wants to know the truck data, how many trucks is running. Everyone wants to know how many trailers from logistics point of view. So master data are like jointly decided which data are master data and which data are important from business point of view, and they are labeled as master data. The goal of master data management is to provide a single version of truth. Well, master data should be centralized, and all people should access to the master data from that single source. And then yeah, everybody has the same truth everywhere in the company. Otherwise, if people are maintaining different shadow things, then yeah, it's difficult to make any better informed decisions. So then these are not difficult to do, but then people lack skills nowadays, and people it's all about hard work and how efficient one is it with the data management and data governance. And that is the big demand right now across many organizations, to have a good data engineers or analysts in the organization for better data governance. Improve, yeah. So okay, we went through all the definitions. Now we have some introduction about each element. Each element I can talk about 1 hour on these parts, but then yeah, that is not the purpose. It's just to have acquaintance with different definitions, so that if we are talking the same language there. Okay, what is data extraction and how it is different than data acquisition? So sometimes during discussions, you will see people are saying data acquisitions or data extraction, but those two terminologies are completely different. So please, people in the organization, don't confuse each other with different type of definitions or different people think that they are intelligent enough, but actually they are not. And please be hardworking and know exactly what each terminology means. ChatGPT is my friend, and then the data extraction is the process of retrieving data, remember it, from one sources and transforming into different format. The goal of data extraction is to gather the data from different sources and load it into target system. Whereas Data acquisition is the process of obtaining data various sources, that is also data extraction, typically with the goal of integrating the data into a single repository. But this is not the goal of data extraction. Data acquisition can include data extraction, very important to remember, but it also encompasses other activities such as data collection, data cleansing, validation, and enrichment, which means data quality plus data extraction is equals to data acquisition. So data acquisition is a different than data extraction. So please, during discussions, because please be mindful about that. Data acquisition is a broader term, and there are multiple activities involved in data acquisition. Good. Then data transform. Data extraction is different than data acquisition, and data transform difference between data transform. No, data transformation is just like transforming the data, like here we discussed about in data acquisition, that obtaining the data, then data transform and data integration. Let's be very mindful about each terminologies. Data transform is just converting the data from one format to another. Remember it, one format to another, typically to make it more suitable for specific purpose. This can include activities such as converting data from one data type to another, transforming the data from one structure to another, which is like multiplying or something, mapping the data elements like for storage in Azure SQL or in some database. Then you have to map it. The column, the staging column has to be mapped with the database column, and then that is called data mapping. For integration project, data integration on the other hand is the process of combining data from multiple sources into a single unified view. So data transformation is one table, then you transformed it, but data integration is like multiple tables and then transforming it, and then you are storing it somewhere. Data transform is a specific aspect of data integration. It is different than data integration. Many people confuse between data integration and data transformation. So please be very mindful about these two terminology. In my organization also, many people have different type of definitions. So it's difficult to talk to many people. But then I think this video will help many young starters to improve on their way of talking. Okay, data storage. Well, data storage, what is the difference between data storage and data warehousing? This is an interesting definition that I see many people do mistake. So let's ask ChatGPT, which is AI based, open AI based environment where data from millions of best practices or best definitions research they have taken into account and consolidated into this precise definition. Data storage is the process of preserving data by saving it in physical or digital format. Physical format also, and long-term retention, whereas data warehousing on the other hand is the process of collecting. Data storage is only preserving, data warehousing is collecting, storing, and further analyzing it. Remember it. Data warehousing typically involves extracting data, not data acquisition, extracting data from various sources, common format, loading it into this. So we already know data acquisition and data acquisition and data extraction. Data extraction plus, remember it, data extraction plus some other activities is equal to data acquisition. So it are obtaining, preparing, and integrating the data. Data integration and data transformation we already learned. Data integration is multiple sources integrated. So then data integration plus, let me put it in a better way, data extraction plus data integration plus data quality is the data acquisition. You can put it in that way. Data storage and data warehousing we understood. Then what is the difference between data storage, data warehousing and database? A lot of people make mistake with this one. A database is a collection of data in a specific way, and in a computer system can range from this. Yeah, this is absolutely right. A data warehouse is also a database, but it's a specialized database that is designed for efficient storage, which is, you already know the techniques of normalization and denormalization. So data warehousing more deals with data to denormalization, because extraction part is denormalization and storing part is the normalization. So a database, as far as I know, my knowledge goes, it deals with the normalized data, and data warehouse deals with, is a specialized type of database where you put the star schemas or galaxy schemas or snowflake schemas, and then it is used for retrieval of the data for the reporting purposes. So it can be stated as like a kind of, it tends to be like a data mart, something like that. But data mart and data warehouse are different. We'll see the definition. Data warehouse. Data mart is a subset of data warehouse. It's a small part of the data warehouse. Data warehouse is also a database, a specialized database. And data mart deals with, is related to specific to projects. So you can say data warehouse is a, or you can say it like this. A server is the house. Databases are databases. Then if you create another database here, then it's a specialized database for reporting purposes, then it's called a data warehouse. Inside the data warehouse for reporting purpose, specific to the project, there are certain schemas. Then you can also say data warehouse as a data mart. Also, you can also say that. So then, or you can create another database, database where you are storing data mart, project specific data, then that is called data mart. So data mart, data warehouse, data storage. Now I think the differences are clear. Like, what is the difference between each of the terminologies? I think subset focused on serving the specific needs of project department. Data warehouse is kind of a bigger, and it's for the whole wide organization. So somebody is outsourcing the work, then they are trying to create a data warehouse, not a data mart. So people who are making roadmaps, so be careful about all these terminologies, and that is the purpose of this video also, so that everyone's, those who are experienced and who are non-experienced, the definitions are clear. Okay, data architecture. Many people call themselves as data architects. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say for data architecture. So data architecture is like overall design. You present it in a schematic format. So nowadays, if somebody types data architecture, there are thousands of architecture available here. So creating a data architecture is not a big thing in itself. Everyone can do it, or everyone with 1 year experience, they can do it. But then implementing elements of the data architecture, that is the biggest challenge, and people tend to not do it, but they tend to more like be on the theoretical side rather than putting their hands in more complex things. Okay, this is one of a kind data architecture you are seeing here, where extraction is done here and the storage is done here, transforming it, converting it to data warehouse. From the data warehouse, there are different data marts, or database, something like that, and then the reports are getting converted here. So this is a good architecture in itself only, and there are multiple sources, and we can do it. Okay, then moving forward. So data architecture, it needs people need to do 1 or 2 projects in their whole life, one or two projects, then you are already aware, and different toolings someone has to know. Then then they can decide on the data architect, because data architect is a mixture of tooling as well as the experience that they gained over the period. And nowadays, with so many toolings, life has become easy. And then so the knowledge about tools overrides the knowledge about the structure itself. Like this kind of structures can be overwritten by if you have knowledge about different tools. Maybe I'm wrong, but then many people have different opinions, so I respect each one's opinion. And let's move forward. What is data process? So we learned about data integration and data transformation. Data transformation is a subset of data integration, and the processes which are, or the steps which are performed on data in order to transform it are called data processes. So the elements in the transformation process are called data processes, including data ingestion, data integration, transformation, delivery, etc., etc. So means the whole pipeline, the works in a pipeline, you can say those are called data processes. Means it's a process. I think everyone knows about it, but then I touched upon each of the elements so that it is easy to know. So then, what process are you working on? Are you working on the transformation process? Are you working on the integration process? Are you working on warehousing process, etc., etc.? Then data mapping. We already discussed about this. So what ChatGPT has to say about data mapping? Data mapping means you are working on the transformation process, then you have a schema or you have a staging table there, and then you want to store it in a database. So then database, you created a table with the column names. If the column names are not different, then you have to map it. Means you have to connect both the worlds so that this data gets stored in the database where you want to store the data. Two data models or sets of data is to ensure data transformation accurately, identifying the source, etc. But then this is a lot. It's just mapping the columns, and then the data is stored accordingly. That is, you can say that. Data profiling. Data profiling is a very specialized job, and right now I am doing data profiling after 7 years of experience also, because here data quality also comes into play. For example, the problem statement can be like, Somajit, this is a database, and can you profile the data and give me your insights on that? So it involves data dictionary, understanding the data quality there, understanding like completeness, accuracy, consistency, and validity. Then also understanding whether it's normalized data, denormalized data, summarizing then what data it has, then which are the elements, where are the master data, etc. It's like profiling the data and doing some data mining in it so that we know about the whole database itself. But then it's like more of like you are given a database like this and you have to say something about it. So then that is called data profiling. And there are a lot of automated tools, but we will come through that, like DB schema, etc., etc. Okay, then data modeling. Yeah, many people say they are into data modeling. What is data modeling? No one is doing data, means some people do data modeling, but then it is not done by everyone. They get confused between data transformation, data modeling, and also data mart, data warehousing, data storage. Yeah, those are means each terminology has its own importance, so we have to very much specific what we are saying. Data modeling is a process of creating a model representation of a data structure. Yeah. Purpose of designing a database or data warehousing. For example, a star schema or a galaxy schema, which I shared. If somebody wants to know about star schema, then this is a kind of a specialized database where the fact tables are in one table and the dimension tables are in other table. Nowadays Google is there, and also you can ask ChatGPT about star schema. It will give a very brief precise definition of it and how it is done. Also it can give you the SQL codes of it. So nowadays outsourcing works is not that beneficial anymore, because in-house, if we have control, then many things can be done, but people tend to not believe that. They tend to think many unnecessary things, and that leads to the that is a pity, and that's lead to the fall of many things. But overall, try to be neutral, and try not to be a Machiavelli, and data modeling, okay, data pipelines, and I want to compare it with data lineage, because many people tend to have confusion about it. Data pipelines versus data lineage. Yeah, they are related concepts, agreed, but data pipeline is completely different than data lineage, although it involves source and the target, but data lineage is something different. Extract, transform, and load data from one source to target system, such as data warehouse. But data lineage, on the other hand, is refers to history of data. For example, you have a source and the target, and that's it. All the reportings are done from the target, but then there is nothing in between. So then, data pipeline, data lineage are the same in that scenario. But if suppose there is a scenario like data extraction is happening in Germany, and there is a database there. From that database, you are bringing in the information to Netherlands database, and then there, you are doing some transformation there. And from this, there is another database which is a data mart in some other application or in SQL. Or in our on-premise database, then from there the reporting is happening. So there are intermediary 2 or 3 databases. Then there the data lineage has a much bigger role, and each from source to there are multiple sources and multiple targets there. So then each source to target is called data pipeline, and the overall journey is the data lineage. That is how you have to see this one. So there is a difference between data lineage and data pipelines. Data engineering, I think everybody knows, is the engineering of the works, but still then let me ask ChatGPT, what is data engineering? Design, construction, maintenance. So design as well as construction as well as the maintenance. Well, data engineers and IT are 2 different roles. Well, my next question will be versus data team versus IT team. And then this, because generally people think that data team comes under the IT team, but that is completely different. And this definition, this misconception is in many small organizations, but that has to be cleared. Data team and IT team do very different works. IT team is more into the infrastructure part. Data team deals with the data part, means the application, and inside the application there is data, and then there are databases and the reporting. So the application management is with the IT team. They don't deal anything with data. They have to make sure that the application is running flawlessly, whereas the data team has to ensure that the data acquisition and then the data warehousing is done in a proper way, so that the reporting is crystal clear and there are no issues with the quality then. Focus and expertise is also different. So then that is the difference between data team and IT team. Data transformation we already saw. A transformation is just on one table, whereas integration is on multiple tables, and the transformation is a specific task, where integration is a wider task. More definitions. Okay, we'll go through this in the next video, because the idea is that to be very sure on what we are discussing in each of the meetings, and then these definitions creates our foundation, and then after that you can start working and coding. Coding is nowadays not difficult, because ChatGPT is already there to support in the coding part, but then it's all about the knowledge, and from the knowledge comes the weightage of what you talk and what you speak and what you are doing. Okay, this is it, and we'll see each other in the next video, and till then, goodbye guys.